Hello everyone and welcome to today's presentation. My name is Roger Law, a technical engineer at Besmile, and it's my pleasure today to show you how to reproduce 16 shades from just 5 base shades using our revolutionary 3D Master and Artamic system. And this solution is designed to bring convenience and benefits to your daily work. And as a senior technician, and a trainer in aesthetic and digital dentistry, I have extensive experience as a dental technician. In the time we have, I will be exploring with you how to optimize the material management and the production workflows in the dental lab. Okay, let me briefly introduce Besmile. We are a company dedicated to R&D, manufacturing, and the service full range of digital dental solutions, including CAD/CAM materials and implant systems. We have our headquarters in Chengdu and a branch in California. Today, our presentation is divided into 4 main parts, including the magic power of combining Artamic and Aconia to expand 5 shades into 16. Then I will guide you through the hands-on demonstration of this process. After that, we will take a closer look at our 3D glaze and 3D gingiva stain. Finally, we will have a hands-on with the 3D glaze. I believe you want to know what is the magic of the creating 16 shades from 5. To all the technicians here, have you ever struggled with inventory overload? To meet the demands of the various cases, you have to stock a vast amount of material, right? And it may make the inventory management overly complicated and costly. So let's take Aconia as example. Just a single brand can have as many as 16 shades, 7 different thickness, and 4 levels of the translucency. We provide a wide range of shades and thickness to fully meet the customer needs, but it also brings challenge in inventory, capital, and management. So typically, shades like A1, A3, B1, C1, and D2 are what we usually keep in stock, and it can cover the majority of cases. But what happens when we get a case that requires other and less common shades? This is a challenge with the uncommon shades. If it's in stock, the turnaround from the lab to the patient is about 1 week. But if it's out of stock, the lab has to order from the dealer, then dealer orders from the manufacturer. And this entire process can mean a waiting time of over a month for the patient. And this impacts the lab's efficiency and the patient's satisfaction. To solve this problem, we analyze the color principles and the layers of the Vita 16 shade guide. With our R&D, we upgraded our formula and do many tests. This leads to our creation of the unique 5 to 16 solution. And the core of this solution is a perfect combination of our Aconia 3D Master blocks and Artamic stain and glaze system. You only need to stock 5 base shades of the 3D Master blocks, and by combining them with the Artamic system, you can easily create all 16 with shades. And as you can see, even when using the Aconia blocks alone, the shades are already very precise and provide you an excellent match for the base shades on the Vita shade guide. And after applying the Artamic stain and glaze, we can see the through the simple external staining, we can precisely match the in-between shades like A2 and A3.5, and you can get a very good result. Okay. And this conversion chart is a practical guide for our technicians. It clearly shows how to achieve any of the 16 Weta shades through different combination of the Aconia discs and the Artamic stains and the number of coatings. For example, to get shade A2, you simply use an A1 disc and apply one coat of shade A. And if you want to get a B3, you simply use an B1 disc and apply 2 coats of shade B. And this process is simple and highly repeatable. And besides the inventory, the technicians face another pain point, the sintering. We all know that even slight deviations in sintering temperature can lead to deviating shades, and it will influence the aesthetics of the final restoration. So, a key advantage of our 3D Master is flexible sintering range. From 1520 to 1516, it maintains a highly consistent, and this means you no longer have to worry about the color deviations caused by the inaccurate furnace temperature. You can ensure a reliable and consistent outcome. Now, let's look at the exceptional physical properties of the new generation material, our Aconia 3D Master. It achieves an optimal balance of properties. It has a translucency of 43 to 51%, and it has a high flexural strength of 800 to 1200 MPa, and a fracture toughness over 5.8. It really balances both aesthetics and strength. So these solid specifications ensure the long-lasting durabilities of the restorations. And the secret behind this seamless result is our innovation, Aconia interleaved layer structure. And unlike the traditional and flat layers, you can see our technology creates a true seamless gradient in shade and strength and translucency. And this mimics the structure of the natural tools and far more accuracy. Then what gives us more peace of mind is its extremely low deformation. The deformation rate is just 3 thousandths, and it's more uniform and predictable shrinkage. This means a better fit and higher margin fit for the final restoration. You can just be given peace of mind for you and your clients. We know the efficiency is also the key. With the Aconia 3D Master, we have optimized the sintering process. You can achieve a full art sintering in just 10 hours, and which is remarkable 30% improvement in efficiency, all without influence the final aesthetic result. Okay, then this table summarizes all the material properties of the 3D Master. As we can see, it has a wide range of indications, whether it's for the single inlays, veneers, full counter chromes, or even the complex full counter bridges up to 14 units, and the implant superstructures is more than capable. So, what does this mean in practical terms? For labs, you can minimize fracture risks and lower remake rates, and you can save your time and cost. For clinics, this translates to the immediate and precise fitting, which means more convenient for doctors and greater comfort to the patient and better efficiency for the clinic. Now, let's take a closer look at our powerful partner, the Artamic stain and glaze system. A key feature of Artamic is instant glossiness. Glaze is pre-mixed into every bottle, so you can achieve a high gloss finish with just one application. This is no need for extra steps. You can save your time a lot. And it's extremely user-friendly. You can easily shape and detail your work and unleashing your creativity to make each restoration unique. And there is a video. You can see the difference between our glaze to other brand. Okay. You can see our glaze has a very good shapeability, but some other brand will just like water. You must have been use this. Okay. Artamic is a special floatable paste, so this consistency allows you to mix and use many shades in one application without the colors running together. So it's easy to create the details like features and the cracks. And it also offers true color stability. What you see is what you get is our slogan. The color you see before firing is the color you will get after. You can ensure no surprise and a predictable result. Furthermore, it provides a lifelike fluorescence. Under the ultraviolet light, the restorations glow just like a natural tooth, and making them appear vital and real under any lighting condition. And this is a complete Artamic shade solution, okay, which includes the denting, adjustment, gingiva, inciso, and transparent shades. And this comprehensive kit provides everything you need for any complex aesthetic case. Here are some key technician specifications for the Artamic, including the CTE and the chemical solubility and the strength. These are all well tested to ensure the perfect bonding and the long-term stability with the Aconia and the Glaze Remake and the porcelain powder. Okay, we have covered all the theories. Now I want to show you some cases use our material and stain glaze. You can see the color transition and layer and the surface textures of these restorations. They are very lifelike and natural. Whether it's for the full arch case or just a bridge or the single crown, it just achieve a predictable and exceptional aesthetic result. In this picture, you can guess which tooth is restoration. I can give you the answer. These four tooths is all the restorations. You can see the cases. These cases from our material and our stain and glaze. The result very lifelike, just like the real tooth. Okay. Now let's move on to the practical part with our hands-on demonstration. Step 1 is to moisten the surface. You need to apply thin layers of blending liquid or glaze. You need to be careful not to brush too much because this can affect the staining later. Then is the shade matching. You need to use your shade guide to confirm which denting shades you need to apply to the restoration. Then for the step 3, refer to the conversion chart we looked just earlier. You need to confirm your target shade and then find the right combination of the Aconia discs and the Artamic stains. For example, you need to your target shade is A2, but your disc is A1. You need to use the shade A and for one coating. Step 4 is coating. For a single coat, just simply apply one layer. And if the multiple coats as required, you need to fire and then apply another coat. In step 5, we focused on the cervical area. You need to brush the adjustment shades onto the cervix part to strengthen the color and add the dips. For step 6, we need to enhance the incisal area. We need to use the incisal color like blue or gray to the ridges and the edges to create a natural, lifelike translucent effect. Finally, the step 7. The step 7 is firing, so please follow the parameters shown on the chart. We have specific recommended curves for the cornea and glass ceramic to ensure a perfect result every time. Now, let's learn some special case because I just show you how to make the majority of your basic case. But for some special case, you need to use some special color like pigmentation. You need to use orange and yellow. For the white spot, you need to use the white, right? And then, if you need to mimic the fissure, you can use the brown and terracotta to mimic the fissure effect. For the gingiva recession case, you can use the blue for the incisal, the brown or just light brown for the cervic part. Now let's move on to the hands-on demonstration. My colleague Shaw will show you the practical steps.
Okay, so you can see this is A1 teeth, 3 A1 crown. So I will choose one crown A1 to make the A1 shade. We can compare the crown with the shade guide. You can see the shade is very close because our 3D Master has a consistent color after sintering. So you don't need to do the staining, you just do the glazing. It's very simple and fast. So I use this tweezer to hold the teeth, hold this crown. And you can see in the plate, I prepare some paste and liquid. And this is a glazed paste. This is a shade A, and this is a blending liquid. You can use a blending liquid to adjust the consistency, adjust the thickness. And this paste is I mixed the shade A and the glaze paste together, and then I get this paste. So now I just brush the glaze paste. I pick some glaze paste and brush it on the buccal surface from the cervical part. Make it smooth and uniform. And we can shake it like this to make it more smooth. And then we can put it on this to waiting for the sintering. And next one, I will use the same crown to make A2 shade. We can compare this crown with the shade A2 shade guide. We can see this shade is a little lighter. So we need to apply the shade A paste to make it to reproduce A2 shade. So now I will pick some paste, this paste which I mixed with the glaze paste and shade A paste. I pick some paste and then I brush it on the surface from the cervical part. Because our shade A, our paste, the chroma is very high, so I mixed it with the glaze paste to make the chroma a little lower. Then I can control it more accurate, control the color more accurate. So after that, we can compare it with the A2. Can see the shade is very accurate, very close. You can see I just brushed one layer of shade A, one layer. And we can put it aside, waiting for sintering. Next, I will use A3 to reproduce A3 and A4. A3, A3.5. And we can compare it with the A3 shade guide. You can see the color, the shade is very close. After sintering, our 3D master has a consistent color. So we just need to do glazing on the surface. I clean my brush, and then I pick some glaze and brush on the surface. And then we can compare with the A3 shade. After that, we can put it aside and we can do the next one. Next one, I will use the A3 shade to reproduce A3.5. We can compare this crown, compare this crown with the A3 shade guide. You can see it is a little lighter, so we can apply one layer of shade A paste to achieve A3.5. So I pick some paste and then I brush it from the cervical part. Make it smooth and uniform. Just one layer, and after that we compare it with the A3.5. Then we can put it with other crowns, waiting for sintering. So you can see here are the teeth we made before. So I use A1 shade to reproduce A1 and A2 teeth. I use A3 shade to reproduce A3 and A3.5. So for the all shade A teeth, you can only use the A1 and A3 to reproduce all of them. So you can just keep the A1 blocks, A1 and A3 blocks in your inventory. You don't need to keep many types.
Now I want to introduce another powerful tools in our system, the 3D Glaze and the 3D gingiva stain. Sometimes, if you are not satisfied with the restoration after sintering, you can use 3D Glaze to create the shade and the shape and repair some defects. This is our 3D Glaze. You can use it for extra shaping and individual customization. Then you can use the blending liquid to adjust the viscosity, but don't use too much because the high viscosity can ensure excellent shapeability. If you find the restoration has a little crack or rough surface, you can apply 3D Glaze to repair the defects, like these two pictures. If the outlines of the restoration is not consistent, you can apply 3D Glaze to adjust the height of the contour and do the surface texture simulation. You can build it up and adjust it as you want by polishing. If you find there is no contact between the restoration and the adjustment tooth, you can apply 3D Glaze to adjust the adjacent contact area. You just use 3D Glaze to close the gap, but during the sintering, there is a little bit shrinkage, so you need to add more than it should be before sintering. Then you can also use 3D glaze to repair the occlusal area. For example, adjust the occlusal ridges, grooves, and the surface. You need to avoid the occlusal contact area because the strength is not enough to support the bite. Besides the 3D glaze, we also provide you two 3D gingiva stains in the gingiva kit. The 3D light pink and the 3D orange pink. You can use the 3D gingiva stains to mimic the structures and the texture of the natural gingiva, such as gingiva papillas and the free gingiva and the bone contour area. Okay, and let's analyze the case. Here we have a posterior crumbs with no contact and with the adjacent tooth. Our solution is to use the 3D glaze to close the gap. Then we prepare the 3D glaze, blend the paste to your desired consistency. For this application, don't add the blend liquid because a higher viscosity gives us better shapeability. Now we need to repair the adjacent area. You need to brush the 3D glaze directly onto the contact point and apply slightly more than you think you need because it will have the shrinkage during firing. And finally, the result here is the before and after. So after firing, you can see we have established a perfect contact point, and the restoration is ready for the final placement. That wraps up the theory part. Next, please follow Shaw for the live demonstration.
So now we will use this case to do the demonstration. It is a case with a posterior crown. You can see the posterior crown has no contact with the adjacent teeth. So there's a gap between these two teeth. So I will use the 3D glaze to close the gap, to adjust the adjacent area of the posterior crown. So now I take it out from the model and I will use this tweezer to hold the teeth. And now you can see this is our blending liquid and this is the 3D glaze. And I already take out some 3D glaze and the blending liquid. You can use the blending liquid to adjust the viscosity of the 3D glaze. But remember, don't add too much because the higher the viscosity, the more excellent shapeability it is. And you can see this is our 3D glaze. The viscosity is very good. You can create any shape you want. So you can do the exact shaping and the individual customization. You can use it to repair the surface defects, repair the occlusal, repair the adjacent area. So now for this case, we can use it to repair the adjacent area. We can pick some 3D glaze and brush it on the adjacent area. you can add more than it should be because there's a little bit shrinkage during sintering. So after sintering, you can get what you want. After sintering, it will be suitable on the model. The gap will be closed.
Now the presentation is over. This concludes my presentation on how to achieve 16 shades from 5 and the master aesthetics with the Aconia and Artamic system. I hope you find it insightful. So thanks for your attention. Now I would be happy to answer any questions you may have.